Hello everybody, welcome back to another stream. I hope you're all doing fantastic. As always, we're back, and this time we have a very special guest indeed. Of course, we have Travis and we have Jason. Travis, how you doing? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, hi guys. I'm the head of marketing of Avelo Airlines, and we're super excited that Infinite Flight has added the Avello liveries to the service. So I'm glad to talk about that today. Really looking forward to it.
Awesome stuff. Welcome. Today we're flying from Burbank to Las Vegas with the Avelo 737-800. It looks great. I like the livery. I'll be honest with you, Travis. I didn't really know this airline existed until it comes to Infinite Flight, but that's what happens when you live in Europe, I guess. But it looks super cool. We're expecting a flight time today of around 50 minutes. So if you are joining us, of course, do expect some delays, I would say, especially on arrival into Las Vegas, as that can cater for more traffic. And if you are joining, expert server, follow rules as always. And with that being said, we're going to be a bit more casual today. I'm going to focus on flying the plane, and Jason's going to shoot some questions at Travis. And we're really going to have a Q&A and chit-chat for the first half an hour or so. So with that being said, Jason, over to you. I'm going to focus on the takeoff here out of Burbank.
What a great setup. Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Travis, thanks for joining us. Welcome. I'll just say before we get into some questions for you, thank you for, to those who don't know, Travis and his colleagues reached out to me and said, hey, we'd love to see our airplane in the simulator. And we, of course, have the 737-800. And so we said, yeah, great, we'll do it. And that's where it all began. So, Travis, why don't you tell us... oh, you know what? We should say, Dan, before we start, we are flying out of one of the Avello hubs in Burbank. And we're flying into Las Vegas, which Avello does not service Las Vegas. But
We do fly to Vegas. We do fly to Vegas, just not Burbank to Vegas.
Not Burbank to Vegas. Okay,
Right.
there we go. So this isn't a real route, but it is. There are two airports that you guys service. So, and we do that because we sometimes for these flights have huge numbers of people joining us and joining Dan. So that's the reason for that. Tell us what you do at Avello. Love to know more.
Sure. Look, I mean, where this really originated, and it's kind of ironic. I'll tell you why I'm sitting in this car here. You can tell I'm mobile. I'm in Galveston, Texas right now. My son is out surfing on the beach, and if you're like me, you were not aware that you could surf in the Gulf of Mexico, but you can a little bit. And my son Devin is 17. He's been flying infinite flight for years, and he's a private pilot, and he's the one that mentioned to me a few weeks ago, hey, why don't you have a Velo, with an infinite flight? What's going on with that? And that triggered this whole thing. And say, talk to you guys and say, hey, we'd love to support you, some graphics and things like that. So thanks for doing that. We really appreciate it. I'm very familiar.
I would actually love to add to that. For those who have noticed, we don't have the Avello logo on the belly of the plane. And the reason for that is that although there is a beautiful, huge logo on the bottom of your 737s, our 737 is still using an older way that our 3D artists use to wrap a paint scheme around an airplane, and they're basically sort of mirroring the left and the right side, and it doesn't. So if they wrap something around to the bottom, it'll just mirror it. If your logo was just on the wing box fairing between the two wings, that would have been okay. But anyway, when we eventually do rework the 737 fully, then we'll give this livery a nice upgrade.
All right, that's cool. We can live with that. No, it looks great. It looks beautiful. And just yesterday, we had our one crew call where all crew members for the entire company get together with Andrew Levy, our CEO, and we go for about an hour and a half of what's going on within the company. And I played one of your guys has on YouTube a flight from Burbank to Eugene from the other day, and whoever that was, I played that for the team, and everybody just thought it was terrific and just a lot of fun. So we're really glad to be part of it.
Very cool. Okay, so you mentioned the CEO. I want to hear what your role is and how Avello sort of came into being.
Sure. I'll give you a quick background on me. I started, like a lot of guys are really interested in aviation. I wasn't interested in flying per se, but I was really interested in the airline business. And I started in college on the ramp at American in Phoenix. Then I finished my undergrad in DC, and I worked at the ticket counter at DCA for a few years. And then I was with Continental in network planning, and I did a lot of network planning then over the years between at Continental, then America West, and U.S. Airways, which led to marketing, distribution, websites, e-commerce, a lot of different areas within the commercial side of the airline, and a lot of really interesting stuff. And it ultimately ended up at Avello last July because of the relationship that I've got with, I've known Andrew Levy for many years. He was with Allegiant and United, and we've done a few things together over the years, and the team kind of came together in various different ways. And the story of Avello is that Andrew Levy has got, like a lot of us, a long airline background all the way back to AirTran, and then ultimately Allegiant was one of the co-founders of Allegiant, which, as most of you guys know, a super successful, kind of most successful airline, a lot of people never even flown. But, financially has just been an amazing model industry. Andrew left Allegiant after a while and became CFO of United for a couple of years. And during that time, and kind of before, he already kind of incubated this idea of, maybe we could take some of the things we learned from Allegiant and fill in some gaps in the U.S. network with a little bit of a different twist, in how we handle customers and things like that. And I think, it didn't take too long for him at United to realize, starting at my own airline was more lifestyle than continuing to work, at a larger company. And so he left United, I can't remember, 2017, 15, 18 or so, and put all this together. Is a lot harder than it looks on paper. To really put an airline together at all is very difficult. To put one together that's got an actual credible business plan and is not going to, kind of fail out of the gate is very rare. So by April of 21, the airline launched with our base at Burbank, and so that was 3 737-800s, 89 seats, with the notion of a lot of Andrew's notion has been about inspiring travel, meaning bringing low fares, friendly service, strong reliability to smaller, convenient airports, and that recipe would really resonate with people. So Burbank is a great example. Obviously, it is a much more convenient airport for a lot of LA, avoiding LAX, and then flying to places that don't have really, I think any of our initial cities have service from any other airline. So places like Burbank to Eugene, Medford, Redding, California, Eureka, Santa Rosa, Ogden, Utah, and then a few others that ultimately did test out very well. That we're young and small, be flexible. We can add in some routes depending on what the customer reaction is, and so that's what's been going on at Burbank. And the reaction has been just terrific. Really the response to the small convenient airports, especially has been great. And then the next bit of growth came in November, and a whole nother unique story in New Haven, Connecticut. So a lot of people are not really familiar with New Haven. It's in southern Connecticut. It's the home of Yale University, is how people kind of put that together. There's always been an airport there. When I was at US Airways doing network planning, we were flying Jays to New Haven, to Philadelphia, and United would fly to Dallas here and there. But it's a short runway. I say 5,800 feet or so, and it could only take RJs for props. And if you've got only RJs and props, you're fares. And so that's the only way to make money. The economics, small jets, only you still got the engines, you still got the pilots, you still got the fuel, but you've only got 50 or 70 or whatever, a smaller number of seats to collect revenue on. You really, if you want to offer, so you've got to charge higher fares to cover all those costs. If you want to offer low fares and get people to come to your airport, you need more seats. So you've still got now 737-700 at New Haven. We've still got all those expenses, but now we've got 147 seats. So
right.
we can make the fares lower, and that service on the 700 only very special airplane, with the ability to exploit that runway and not have issues. We started flying to Florida in November, 6 cities in Florida, and it's been terrific. The response has been great. There's about 2 million people in that area that have had to drive long to LaGuardia, long to Hartford, higher fares. So we announced 7 new cities over the last few weeks. By May, we'll be flying 13 cities from New Haven, and the response is great. People love the convenience, and they love the low fares, and our reliability is super high. I could talk more about that if you want to.
Well, I do have a question related to that. I'm going to lob one up for you here.
Okay.
When you have I'm wondering about the secret sauce for a low cost or a low fare airline, and do other areas of the airline suffer, like where customer service or your experience at the gate, and like how does it work?
No, that's a great question, and I will say the other areas don't have to suffer. The reason, the way you have a low-cost airline, and particularly when you're first getting going, is it's as simple and as difficult as keeping your costs low. You've got to get economical airplanes. We have used 737s, many of them. We have some Turkish, at least one X2E. We have some Gol planes on the way. So you get high quality, well maintained, used airplanes. You don't have to do it this way, but that is a pretty economical thing to do. And those airlines I just mentioned all maintain their planes really, really well. So you're getting your staff. In America, we call everybody a crew. All of our crew members, many of them are starting their careers. Many of them have been, worked at other airlines along the way. Their rates, our pay rates, are not what, United has after, 50 years of building up the airline. And then there's pros and cons, but those expenses are lower. We're at these smaller airports where the landing fees are much lower than at LAX or JFK or something. So, we have fewer middle management people. We don't have layers. It's only direct distribution today, where you buy your tickets on Avello.com. We're not paying GDS fees. We're not paying Expedia and all those things. There are pros and cons. I'm not saying you would never do those things, but you've got to have more revenue if you're going to take on those added expenses. So we run a lean ship, but you can run a lean ship and still be highly reliable. For example, you're not cutting corners on safety. Here's a couple of examples. So we have our own maintenance bases at Burbank and New Haven, and we have seasoned veterans, Delta and other airlines work who run a maintenance and operations programs. Same with flight ops. So these guys have been doing it for decades, just like at the big airlines. And they wanted something different for themselves. They wanted to take a chance on being part of the start also. So we're running a great ship when it comes to doing our own maintenance there. But in the stations, the largest third-party provider, and this is a place you're not cheap everywhere. And when it comes to maintenance, you're not cheap on maintenance. We've all been around long enough to know that it costs a lot more to run an unreliable operation than it does to run it properly in the first place. Our largest outsourced third-party maintenance is Delta Tech Ops. So at most of our outstations, when we need maintenance, it's Delta. And we all know that Delta Tech Ops is arguably the best in the industry. So those guys are, they know what they're doing. They've got the spare parts everywhere. They're really terrific to work with. They're not the cheapest, but they are the best. So, you kind of make your formula. Pick and choose your shots. You're going to pay. We just increased our pilot pay pretty dramatically. We're arguably, it's a big fair out the pilot pay, but arguably we're paying more than Tier and Spirit. It's worth it because, we want it. We don't want to. We've got to mitigate the shortage, and then we want to make sure, we're getting a great selection of great pilots. And so that's how you do it. It's very feasible. And then you got to put that together with your revenue program. So we have very low fares. We want to be friendly about the ancillary stuff that we sell. So we sell seats and tickets in a variety of different ways. And that's, it's no secret. That's where, Ryanair, even the major U.S. airlines today make an important part of their revenue, and it's an important part for us. But if you don't want seats, if you don't want to pay for seats, if you don't want to bring any baggage, you can just go for that super low fare. Most people do want to go ahead and pay for those other things. And so we'll continue to offer additional ways for people to buy products from us, vacation packages, flight insurance, different things, and that's that's all how the business runs. But it's very, very important to keep an eye on the cost line, keep those costs minimized, like I just explained. And fuel right now, of course, is just a killer for everything. Yeah. Really, that just makes it no fun. Including you guys that are out here flying these planes right now. I know you go fly, your private flights. My son's flight school in Ogden just sent us a note saying that they've got a fuel surcharge that they're going to start.
Yeah, I've seen that for some some flight schools, but and actually, you guys in the United States are still getting a deal compared to us in Canada, and we're getting a deal compared to our friends in the UK. Like, I think the conversion right now is something like, I'm paying over $9 a gallon for avgas.
It's really terrible, and it's discouraging for everybody and everything we all do. It slows down everything. We all know, for the airline, it stinks because there's a lot of stuff going really well, and we are doing a great job of maintaining cost control and increasing our revenues. So it's very annoying. It gets cheap. Keep at it. We'll get through it.
Question from the chat, actually, that I just saw from one of our channel members, Captain Sky Marshall, is asking, will Avello have medium to long haul flights in the future?
It's possible. We're working through the growth plan. We're working on some of the short haul stuff, as you see. We just added Burbank Spokane, which is our longest flight out of the west. We get a lot of questions, are you going to connect east and west? For example, either nonstop, like Burbank, New Haven, we get asked that a lot. There's definitely a runway problem on both sides of New Haven, so in the short term, that's not feasible. But we just added Chicago Midway. theoretically we could connect them over Midway, for example. There's no plans to do that, but it could happen. So we're looking at a lot of different.
Cool. We only have you for like 10 more minutes. It's flying by. So let me, you wanted to, you mentioned the pilot shortage.
I was about to say the same thing.
United States. Yeah. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. You guys, I mean, I know a lot of you guys, I assume, are kind of like my son and, probably younger, maybe high school, college, whatever, or even probably post-college. I don't care how old. You guys know the pilot shortage is real. I've been involved in working through the pilot shortage for the last 5 or 6 years in various roles, even before Avello. And I mean, I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir. You guys should, but if you're not sure, is this really going to benefit me? Can I really be a pilot? Could I really get there? I'm just telling you guys, it's never been better. I would say it's easy. It's not like easy. You got to put in the work. Of course, you got to put in the work. You got to get your ratings. You got to do your thing. You got to spend the money up front, which I know is one of the worst parts about it. I would just say this, and I've talked to many young people about it. If you're going to take on student loans, in my experience, these are by far, I got a future son-in-law who's got a lot of student loan debt, who's about to be a doctor. Okay, so he's really good. I think his student loan is safe. He's gonna be an orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a different ball of wax.
It's not as different as it used to be. You guys have such amazing career earning power. It is ridiculous. So as long as you're smart about it, I'm just recommending, as long as you're gonna make the payments down the road, and unless there's some extenuating circumstances, as long as you're serious about it. If you have to take out the loans, come out, because you are going to get money back. Signing bonuses are amazing. I'm not just talking about Avello. All the regionals, anybody you want to consider. And I'm talking worldwide. Any of you guys, I don't care what country you're in. The U.S. is bending over backwards to take in Australians and some others. Europe's got just as much of a shortage. The whole world's got a shortage. We all know it. The Middle East carriers, everybody. Take the loans as long as you're serious. Stay on the track. Get your ratings. Be a CFI, do the work, and it is going to pay off. This shortage isn't going anywhere, and you guys are going to be making amazing money. And so I would just say the biggest problem I see with people is, it's true not just in this career, it's when young people at some point you got to be decisive. You just got to bite them. Some people are afraid to do it. The line is too big. The time is too long. I don't know if I can do it. If you think you can do it and you're ready to be serious about it, just do it. All the guys that are doing it today, they were in your same shoes and they jumped off the cliff. And some people won't jump. I'm telling you, jump if you think you want to be serious. It's really worth it. It's an amazing career. If I can help you guys, any Avello, there's ways. You can find me on the internet very easily. I'd be happy to set you up with people to give you career advice and stuff. It's a great career. It's just beautiful. So I hope that helps anybody out with a little bit of encouragement.
Cool, awesome.
I've got a question.
If you have sorry, Dan, one second.
Yes, cool.
Just to put a caboose on that train, if anyone does want to reach out to Travis, just hit me up on the forum, and I'll be the middleman there.
My email or whatever.
Yep, for sure. Go ahead, Dan.
I've got a question with regards to costs. Of course, there's a shortage of pilots. From an airline perspective, and I'm not too sure how it works in the US in terms of flight schools and stuff, but for a lot of people, of course, it's really, really expensive to get into flying. Why is it so expensive? And looking into the future, will it ever be cheaper? Because there's a lot of people who have the capability of being pilots, but they simply can't afford it.
Yeah.
This is especially true in the UK, I think.
Yes,
so
really,
from Dan's perspective.
It's horrible in the UK.
I think it's expensive for the reasons we don't want to hear. The equipment is expensive. The trainers, paying the staff is super expensive. The fuel is expensive. The insurance is everything about it is just. That's just the way it is. And so, how do you can't defeat that. It's never going to change. You got to work. You got to go with the system. And a couple of things. One, if you can, I'm still as long as you're dead serious. Private loans, just figure them out. They're out there. There's their flight. Go through your flight school. They will turn you on to the people that do private student loans. That's one thing. It's better if you can get scholarships, of course. Look at the Aviate Academy that United is doing. A couple other airlines. I think Southwest has recently launched something. We're at Avello. We're working with one of the big flight schools here to try to facilitate that a little bit. Investigate scholarships however you can. There is some of that out there. It's not that easy, but I don't have a magic formula for breaking through and getting up. And other than, I can tell you that of all my college age kids friends who graduate from college, who take on a bunch of student loans and they get degrees in liberal arts or business or whatever, when they graduate, they aren't making as much as pilots are now. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was reversed, right? You'd come out and you'd fly for a regional and you'd make $18,000 a year. Now I can't even keep up with how much the regionals are going to pay you and what the bonuses are going to be. That is not true for the people that are getting these other degrees at the universities, but they've also got big student debt. There's no way around it unless you're lucky enough that your family can afford it. So you got to make your own decisions, but I'm telling you, you're going to get out of here making 75, 100, 200 bonuses, yada, yada, and you're going to be able to pay it back. Live frugal for your first couple of years and pay it back, and you'll be out of it. As long as you're serious. Like anything, you don't want to get in the situation where you go halfway and then you quit and you've still got the debt. That is a bad scenario. That's not good. So you got to be aware and be ready to go all the way.
All in.
Yeah.
It's a big investment, and I know some people in the UK, they get their parents remortgage their houses for their training, and then you think, well, what if they don't follow through their training and then have lost the house?
True.
It's just crazy. Like the extent some people go to is kind of insane. But
yeah, I don't have a good answer for that one. That's terrible.
One of our moderators is in the chat, and he said he's a pilot who is just gone to flying business jets, and he said Envoy's offering 140K in bonuses for them, and they're a regional, like. Oh yeah,
it's incredible.
And actually, Matt had another question for you, Travis. Maybe before we get into our maybe a couple more questions and then some giveaways. And he's saying, does Avello plan at looking at expanding their fleet in the future? New aircraft, 737 MAX, any Airbus, anything like that?
I will say that unlikely we would expand the fleet to anything different than a 737. I will tell you, in my experience, in my opinion, one of the magical points of Southwest and their huge streak of profit was the single fleet time. It's hard to put a price on how efficient that is. We all can talk about it, but it really, really is true. When you're training,
is that due to maintenance mostly, and training, or is it training?
It's all of that. It's maintenance training. It's pilot training. It's flight attendant training. It's parts. It's everything. It's catering. It's everything. It's complexity. You look at an airline that's 10 different fleet types going on. You got 10 different sizes of trolleys for catering. I mean, let alone, lug nuts. It's crazy.
Yep.
How expensive that is. So, no, we will not be going to a different fleet type. MAX, for example, I mean, that gets into new aircraft and things. Never say never. For the right deal. It's all about, when it comes to that stuff, it's all about the financials. So yeah, theoretically we could get some new airplanes. But at the moment, we've got new aircraft coming. We'll be kind of doubling our fleet every year over the next 3 or 4 years, and we've got a line of sight on that we're doing now.
Cool. Before we take some questions, let's do a giveaway. Avello has been very generous in providing. What we're going to do is we're going to do 4 giveaways. We're going to give away 2 jetpacks, and these jetpacks are full of.
You want me to jetpack?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, jetpack. If you follow us on Instagram, you see we have Free Ticket Tuesdays, and every Tuesday we give away tickets and a jetpack to somebody. And a jetpack is simply a box of goodies from our partners. So it's got UCLA t-shirts and Yukon hats and mugs from Boeing and stickers and lanyards from Avello. We got a lanyard from Avello in there. Stuff like that. So it's a box of stuff that comes in fast, and it's just fun.
Cool. So the jetpack on this stream will not have airline tickets in it. We're going to give the airline tickets away separately. So they're going to be 4 different giveaways, 2 jetpacks, 2 pairs of tickets. And Avello has very graciously made these tickets transferable. So if you win the tickets and you live in Belize and you can't use them, you can transfer them to somebody else. So we will put you in touch with Avello if you win. The way it's going to work is like this. We're going to give you a keyword to type in the chat, and we'll pick Nightbot will randomly pick a winner for us. Once that happens, please, Dan, remind me what people do.
After the keyword?
After they win.
After they win, they'd usually get in touch with us on the Infinite Flight community forum or Instagram if you don't have that. Would you still like to handle it that way, Jason, today?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, just maybe type your
email,
forum
or
forum name in the chat, because we'll see it on Nightbot. And then or just reach out to me directly on the forum. That's how we'll do it. But if you type your forum name in the chat, that allows us to verify it. And everyone thinks they know what the keyword is already, but I'm gonna pick something different. just because. It's not gonna be Avello. All right, so hopefully this works. All right, so are you ready for me to do this, Dan?
Yeah, no, go for it.
All right, so the keyword is 737. That'll be our first one.
Travelman USA 360 already guessed that.
Yeah, I know a few people did before I said it. But anyway, 737. Type the numbers 737 in the chat. You don't need to spam it. Only typing it once enters you into the giveaway. And this is for all users that are in the chat. The chat, you can't see it right now, Travis, but it's going bananas.
It's going crazy.
It's just a constant waterfall of 737. We have 260 people watching right now, so we'll give it a minute for people to... and almost half of those people have entered the giveaway already.
Travis, the live chat replay might be enabled, so when you watch the stream back later on, you'll probably be able to see the chat rate right now, how quickly it's going.
It is. I did enable it, so you'll be able to see it when you watch it back.
That's awesome. These giveaways have been great. People have had a good time. We're doing a lot of that.
That reminds me, you guys, this is not the only time that you can win things from Avello. So definitely go to Instagram. They're Avelo Air. Is that correct? Avelo Air with one L. And when we do the next giveaway, I want you to explain the name. But let's roll this. Avelo Air on Instagram and Avelo Air on Twitter too, I think, right?
Right.
And you can search for Avelo Airlines on Facebook. Do you have a
giving away
TikTok?
An iPhone 13. We do have TikTok. I think it's Avelo. TikTok. I'm trying to grow.
Yeah, they're giving away an iPhone 13 right now, so go check them out on their social media. Let's roll this. So we're gonna go 3, 2, 1, roll it. And the winner is Infinite Aria, which is Infinite A-R-Y-A. Congratulations to you. We didn't even say what prize this was, but that was for a jetpack.
Great.
So we will, Infinite Aria, please type your Infinite Flight forum username in the chat. If you don't have one, hit us up on Instagram or something and just let us know.
It's always fun giving stuff away. I've never won a giveaway, but I can imagine it's quite a blast.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, if some of these aren't claimed, I think in this
Matt
case
says
it's just
they're on the IFC.
They're just and yeah, maybe we can do something else in the future. All right, let's run one more, and maybe Travis, why don't you? Let's see here. Why don't you give us a keyword, something to do with? We just need one word. Maybe not the company name.
One word about Redding. Redding.
All right, Redding, as in Redding, California, is the keyword. Redding. Type Redding. This is for a pair of Avello round trip tickets. While we're waiting for that, how did Avello get its name, and why don't you spell it with 2 L's?
Never actually.
Having some tech issues on my end.
What's that, Dan?
My camera is not working.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It's fine. Stand by. I'm not going to pause.
There's not some magnificent story behind it other than it had the aviation theme, and I think some of the guys that are some of the Andrews kind of co-founders kind of got together and wanted to start with aviation and ended up with Avello as something that was kind of smooth, kind of went along with the smooth travels that we talked about, and it had a nice kind of ring to it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I would love to. I got to admit, I was pronouncing it wrong when I first got the emails from Carlo, in my head.
We get a lot. We work on that. Our tagline this year is "Hello Avello," and that is it's kind of a little double entendre, right? It's hello, new, but it's also rhymes with Avello to try to help key that in people's heads. That rhymes with hello and Jello and a few other things. So we keep working on it. Yeah.
And that's your job, right?
Our job is awareness. Getting us right now. It's like people know we're here. When we advertise, we wherever we can, it's our name with a picture of an airplane next to it, because we need to make that association.
Right.
That Avello is an airplane, because we do a lot of surveys and a lot of work on understanding what is our awareness, kind of mind share. If you ask people if they heard of Alaska Airlines, it's 100%. But with us, it's less than that. And so we spend a lot of time just getting socializing who we are.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to roll this. So it looks like we've got over 130 eligible users ready for this giveaway. So this is for a pair of Avello round trip tickets, and we're going to go 3, 2, 1, go. Congrats, Epic Aviation. You have won a pair of tickets, and hopefully those are super useful to you. Travis, any restrictions on these tickets?
No,
He
not really.
They should be aware of?
We try to be pretty easy to work with. I mean, as long as we have seats available, you can use them, so it's fine. I hope that Epic Aviation's from Epic Flight School. That'd be spend some time there. That'd be good. Okay.
So Epic Aviation, congrats, and please just shoot us your forum username here in the chat so that we can reach out to you and hook you up with Travis's team for those tickets. Travis, okay with you if we just do 1 or 2 more questions, or do you have to jet right now?
That'd be good. No, go ahead. Let's do that.
Jason,
Okay,
just very quickly, I'm just trying to fix these problems real quick. I don't think it'll take too long.
Okay, no problem. We don't need you anyway right now, Dan. Just you can just fly
I
the
see
plane.
how it is.
And if we have to pause the stream when Travis goes to help fix it, that's fine. So if you guys have any questions for Travis, now is the time. I've seen some good ones, but they're now completely buried in keywords. So definitely drop them here in the chat. Aviator JT's been asking a few times. Thanks for reminding me. Will Avello ever expand their routes to the Caribbean?
It's possible. There's certainly demand from the Northeast, where we are in New Haven, to the Caribbean, San Juan, Bahamas, other places. Our challenges are aircraft related. We do have a short runway there, and so you need things like rafts and potentially some other support, which adds weight. And then as soon as you start getting into a situation where you have to take weight restrictions, that really kills things fast. You start being unable to sell 147 seats, and now you got to sell 140 or 130. That plane doesn't work anymore. So there is runway extension coming to New Haven, but not for another 3 or 4 years. So in the meantime, we're looking at some things, but we just got to kind of work it out aircraft-wise. So we'll see. I'll say right now.
Cool. We've already talked about your social media. What's your website in case people want to go see your route map or anything like that?
AvelloAir.com.
Cool. AvelloAir.com. Lovely. Any plans to go into or near Atlanta?
I would say nothing imminent, but you never know. Things will. I mean, the funny thing is there is no near Atlanta. It's Atlanta. There's like almost nowhere else. You think most cities have a secondary, less expensive airport, Chicago Midway,
Yep.
Love Field, Hobby, whatever you want to call it. Funny thing in Atlanta that it's Hartsfield and that. So that makes it more challenging. Anything could happen, but not imminent.
Okay. I have a feeling that people are only going to see my face on stream in a little while.
It should when we pause this, we should be able to fix it. I believe I need to end the call and join back. I'm going to put it on the pause screen now, really, really quickly. I'll leave the call and join back, and I don't think anything should shift around. So just stand by.
All right, cool. We'll wait.
That's a good idea.
Update, it's not working. I don't know what to do.
It's okay. You can keep flying, Dan, and I'll
Oh well, tech. What can you do? That's not good.
And we're back. Not really though.
We're back, but half.
This is bringing back bad memories for me. My son and I did a lot of flying with Microsoft Flight Simulator, and boy, I set that thing. And we had all the high-tech controls and everything, and I set that stuff up so many times. I'm sure half the people don't even know exactly. Boy, it'll drive you getting all those things to work.
Do you have anything else that you want to say? Do you want to take more questions? I know you have to get going. We've gone.
I got a few. If you've got some questions, I'd be happy to take them. I think that's really really great. That's some of the best stuff we do. Love to do that.
And the mobile pilot, I did tell Travis that you'd like to fly with his son. He is up in Utah right now, and then soon to be moving to California. So it'd be a bit of a logistic challenge, but
maybe.
Yeah.
He does see us in Houston here and there, so he's around. He's all over the place.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one. Will Avelo Airlines ever be partnered with another airline in or out of the USA? So any code share type stuff?
If that ever happened, that would be a long way off. That does add a lot of complexity that we're not going to have anything to do with for probably ever. But in this business, you definitely never say no. But no, I would not expect it.
This seems at first glance this seems like a question that's I don't want to say silly, but I like it. This person says, how do Avelo Airlines order a new aircraft? I mean, that's a big question. That's a huge investment.
That is a very I think that's one. That's the whole question. So if you haven't worked within an airline, you don't really know how this stuff happens. So we have people at our company who's, in our case, basically two people at an airline. You have dozens. The job is to source airplanes for us. So at a high level, the way it works is network planning. We have a guy named Mark 𝗘𝗟𝗡𝗘𝗥 here who's been network planning for many years. Kind of sorts out and does a lot of analysis, helping us figure out where we should fly. And there's a lot of art and a lot of science and a lot of spreadsheets and a lot of, ultimately we go through a lot of work and we settle on, okay, we'd like to fly here, here, and here. But then you've got to mix that in with, okay, how many airplanes do we have? What are their capabilities and things like that? So we've settled on 7s, we've settled on flying these network, right? Let's get some planes. So generally, you do talk to the manufacturers, and Boeing and Airbus are happy to come give you a big pitch and say, hey, these 737 MAXs, and we got these 320s, and blah, 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 and here's how much they cost. And it's brand new, and that's the plane, and you could finance that. Alternatively, there are mostly through these leasing companies, ILFC being like the most famous, and then there's all these others that float around, and it's just this network of people. So our guy, Sean Hopkins, for example, has been doing this for his entire career, sourcing airplanes, negotiating for, they all know each other, they know the industry, they know where the airplanes are, they share a bunch of information, and there are databases that say, here's a bunch of airplanes that are coming up. You know, it's like Auto Trader, but in some ways it kind of is. And you know, Southwest is, you know, going to retire a bunch of these planes, and Gulf's going to retire a bunch of these planes, and JAL's going to retire a bunch of, and they're going back to the lessors, and the lessors, for the most part, want to lease them out again. And they negotiate a big, thick contract that says, here's the, and by the way, there's engines on these planes, and that's a whole nother set of issues and a whole nother contract, and it might be with a different lessor. There's a lot of complications, but it's really tapping their networks and their understanding. I mean, Sean and his people, and understanding what the market is out there and saying, I'm interested in this, I'm interested. And then there's a little bit, you know, they kind of bid and they figure out, you know, which airplane's going to go to which home and who needs what by when and who's going to pay how much. Then there's all the financing angle that gets thrown into that. But it's like that. It's a bunch of people who have started when they were young in the airline industry, for the most part, not entirely, but in the airline industry. And they started in finance or planning or revenue management, and they got good at analysis on spreadsheets, and they got good at doing contracts, and they got into that. And somebody, you know, the CFO said, hey, we need an analyst to help us analyze these airplanes that we're looking at with this young person who's 23, who's right out of college. And they start helping, and next thing you know, they're doing another one and another one and another one, and they get promoted to manager, and then they do some more, and then they're doing a little fleet, and then they're doing more and more. And next thing you know, you're Tom Doxey at United, who started with me at America West. He was a young guy in finance, and now he heads up all of fleet planning for United. So that's how it happened.
Wow. And then, you know, if you're fleet planning for United, that's a lot of airplanes and a lot of different types.
It's unbelievable. It is a hugely complex system.
I'm seeing the stream here, and we have a little bit of a delay, so Dan is either on very short final or he's touching down right now
about
at
to
Las
touch down.
Vegas. Just touchdown, okay.
Just about to.
Oh, about to, okay.
Good.
Yeah, we'll you can maintain a sterile cockpit there, Dan, and good luck with the landing. I have a question of my own, and then maybe we'll wrap it up, and you can collect your son there at the from the beach.
Okay.
And we'll do the last couple giveaways after Dan's parked at the gate. But I'm seeing your route map here, and you're headquartered in Texas. I don't see any destinations in Texas.
No.
What's going on there?
It's a funny thing. So Andrew Levy is based here as he got the airline going. And so as it happened, he stayed here, got a small office here, a few of the initial leaders, you know, all kind of coalesced here. And then Burbank, you know, began. And let's face it, you know, moving to California and moving to Burbank, of all places, is super expensive, off the charts. I mean, who doesn't love LA? It'd be great to go to LA. I'd love to be at LA.
Yeah, of
but
course.
It's crazy. You know, that does not fit the mantra and the requirement of keeping our costs really low. And same thing a little bit in Connecticut. Connecticut is not as expensive as LA, but it's still pretty pricey. So, and in any case, we've got these multiple places. We're flying all around. I mean, all the years I spent at in Houston at Continental and, you know, Tempe with US Airways and things like that, we didn't really go to the airport that much. We were mostly in the office,
Sure.
and it was nice to see the planes flying by. But that's not a huge requirement. Although, the truth be told, we would love to spend more time at the airport and with our crew members, and that is a drawback to being here. So it's not ideal, but there's pros and cons, like everything else.
Sure.
There's pros and cons. So, but that's why we're in Houston.
It'd be cool to see something in Texas or you know, even Phoenix, Goodyear, something like that. That's
It
close.
would. We did fly to Mesa briefly, was one of the initial routes, and it didn't work, and that's a bit of a long story. But that wasn't Mesa Burbank was not great. But yeah, if we could hit some Texas, we would all love that. But we follow where the network planning leads us, the art and science of that, and that really guides us where we fly. We don't do it on, emotion. We'd love to fly to Texas. That would, of course, we would, but we do it where where we can be profitable with the most level of certainty. That's what guides us, and that's the path we take.
Cool. Travis, I'm gonna let you go. I want to thank you for taking some time with us. I know your time is valuable, and thank you for reaching out to Infinite Flight. This has been a really fun partnership so far, and who knows, maybe we have more to do down the road.
Maybe we do.
But yeah, so thank you so much. If there's anything else you want to say before you go to our whole audience, the floor is yours.
I just want to say you guys are great. I'm glad to get to meet you guys. I'm glad. I feel like I know your audience pretty well. I know the guys that are out there doing this. I think you guys are awesome. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's fun and it's real. And I encourage you to follow this as a career path if you want to. It's no better time. It used to be maybe be okay, maybe it won't be. Now it looks great. And I just think you guys are great. I love what you all do. You guys yourself, they're providing infinite flight. You guys are flying on it. It's just a wonderful thing. So congratulations to all of you.
Well, thank you very much. And with that, we will say so long to Travis. We already said goodbye to Dan, I guess, yeah, Travis, thanks so much. Dan, feel free to pause or transition.
Yeah, just 2 seconds. I'm literally about to stop at the gate. And then I can transition onto the pause screen momentarily. So hopefully, Jason, it might just be you on the screen in just a second.
We will do what we got to do. And then when we do finally park here and say goodbye, we'll do a couple more giveaways. And I guess I'll talk to you, Dan. Can you? Oh.
Yeah, there's a
classic situation.
There's a classic situation here. An aircraft spawns.
Different camera.
Different camera. Quick look at the instruments.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
On that note, Travis, thank you very much for joining and talking to everybody today. It's been a pleasure to have you on the stream, and it's always great to have a guest come on to speak. And I'm sure everybody's loved you being here. With that being said, I'm going to transition now onto the pause screen. To everybody watching, we'll just for a minute or so transition onto a pause screen, and then we'll be back after that. It might just be Jason who's back after that. I'm not too sure. You'll hear me, but you won't see me. But see you in a second. Again, Travis, thank you very much.
Travis, thanks.
And see you next time. Okay, we're back, and I'm voiceovering Jason.
I'll just move my lips and you can talk. Oh man.
You can all hear me, of course. Unfortunately, my camera has gone kaput. It's not working. Last week, the other day, sorry, it was the Wi-Fi, and I just have bad luck this week. I think it's just not working.
Dan, my face isn't as pretty as yours. This is not. This I should not be the one staring into the camera.
You make a great host, Jason.
Yeah. I will do my very best. And with that, I want to say that again, thank you to Avello for this super fun stream opportunity and partnership opportunity. I say partnership. This is a handshake deal. Nobody's on the hook for anything. But super fun to do this with them. For those who are maybe frustrated that we didn't add, excuse me, their favorite livery, and we only added Avello on this release. You know, when an airline comes to us and says we'd love to see our plane in the sim, the plane goes in the sim. It's as simple as that. Also, Travis gave some really great advice for people who are thinking about becoming pilots. Go back, rewind this, and listen to it again if you're thinking about it. I just want to say that we're not giving professional, official financial advice or investment or education advice. But you know, this does seem like a really great time to get into being a pilot. So, yeah. How was the flight, Dan? We didn't really chat too much.
Yeah, no, the flight in general was really nice, really smooth. Great scenery. It's always great scenery in this area. And Burbank's cool. I've never flown out of there before, and I didn't realize how cool of an airport it is, especially with the mountains just behind it.
Do you know what? I will say that, and I've done this way early on. I was vectored into Burbank a few times. Go do that. The approach into Burbank is really cool, and there's a couple of different runways. Yeah, fly into Burbank. It's fantastic.
I'll have to give it a try. Well, host Jason.
Well, I guess we should do some more giveaways. We've got 2 more giveaways.
We've got 2 more, exactly.
Let's just send it here.
Request taxi to parking. Thank you. Avelo 001
Let's see.
Victor Alpha.
Let's see. We'll do a prize pack, or a jet pack. So the Avello jet packs are full of swag, basically from a bunch of their partners, and they will ship it anywhere to you. And so what we're gonna do, we're gonna pick a keyword. You're gonna type it in the chat. Don't do that yet. You don't know what the keyword is. And then you need to type into the chat, say the keyword, and then stick around, because the last 2 people have not followed these 2 instructions. The last 2 winners. When you hear your name or your username on YouTube called out because you're the winner, and Nightbot will indicate that you're the winner, type your IFC, your forum name, your Infinite Flight forum name into the chat. And I will shoot you a DM, and we'll say congratulations, and we'll hook you up with Avello. So the first one is going to be the jetpack, and the keyword is simply jetpack, one word. So type jetpack into the chat to be eligible to be entered.
Would you ever want to try a real jetpack?
It's a good question.
I would personally.
Yeah. Like the one that shoots the water, or the kind that has an actual jet on it?
No, the actual jet. Have you seen the one, I think the military use it.
The Dubai one?
No. They have like, it's like Iron Man. They have it strapped to their arms, and like it's got rockets on their arms.
Yeah. I saw someone land maybe on like a Navy ship or something. Yeah. No, I don't want to do that. I have 4 children and a wife who loves me, and I already take a calculated risk being a private pilot. I don't need to add jetpack to the list. I don't think my wife would be very impressed. So you're telling me that if I gave you, if I said, here, Dan, look, I know somebody, we can go do this tomorrow, you would do it? Yeah,
definitely.
Well, all right. I'm gonna see. I'll try and hook you up, but I don't really have that connection.
Just get in touch with the military.
It's not gonna. Yeah. Hey, do you want to? I want to say special thanks. I said it in the chat, but huge thanks to our channel members.
Yeah, of course.
There's a few things I want to say. I want to say thank you to our channel members. And you, Dan, it's your turn to read them out. I read them out last time, and I made a mockery of it. You can do that at the end. And then, secondly, I know you guys that we've discontinued the Friday night flight, and a lot of people are sad and unhappy about that. It's something we had to try. We had to try to. You don't know if something's going to work unless you try. Sometimes we had to take it in another direction to inspire some creativity. We do think that we're on a good path to do that. We're on the track to highlight. We have a bunch of them on the calendar. We're going to highlight some community events. They're mostly on weekends so far. So we are going to blast that out on social media pretty soon. We have another super exciting way to engage as a community that's going to be launching very soon, possibly next week, and we'll have more to share about that. So I do ask that you please be patient with us. I know that you're sad about FNF, and we are iterative. Iteration is our favorite word here at Infinite Flight. We are trying this, just like we tried a few things with the ATC schedule. We will continue to try things. If it doesn't work and it's a complete disaster, who knows? The future is unknown. We will do what we need to do when the community speaks. So give us a chance. We are hopefully coming up with something really, really cool for events, and if we can ever get Dan to stay away from Gatwick, we'll stream some of them.
Great.
Sorry, I had to call you out, Dan.
All good.
And it's not really fair because nobody can even see your face right now. But,
No, they go.
What happened? What happened with your camera? I'm the only one on screen.
It turns on. The wire that actually powers it, because if you use a normal battery pack, you need to power it constantly. If you use a battery pack, it will go dead in about 40 minutes. So I plug it in to the mains through like an adapter. And I honestly think that's just gone kaput. It's not like syncing. It's not connecting. Like the camera will turn on, but it won't connect. So it's a mix of both, really. Lose connection.
Okay.
Well, at least everybody knows my evening tonight will consist of going on Amazon and buying new cables to fix the setup.
Yep. Have fun with that.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully I can get next day delivery.
Let's roll this thing. We still have like 200 people watching. They're waiting for us to do these giveaways. So this is going to be for a Avello jetpack, and I'm gonna roll it in 3, 2, 1. James Lowell.
Let's see.
James.
Woo!
You have won.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can't see me, but woo!
Yeah, you've won. James, drop your Infinite Flight forum username here in the chat so that I can hit you up. All right, James at least said something. Awesome. Congrats on that. That'll be fun little package to receive in the mail. Hit me up on the forum. We'll get you in touch with Avello, and they'll send that out to you. The next giveaway we're going to do is another pair of Avello round-trip tickets.
Ooh. Whilst
these are transferable. Oh, go ahead.
No, carry on. It would make sense to do it in just a second.
All right, we're going to do a pair of tickets. They're transferable. James, I got your username. Thank you. I'll send you a message. Feel free to shoot me one if you like ahead of time. Yeah, so if you live somewhere where you can't use these tickets, you can transfer them to a friend or a relative or something in the United States, or someone, that will be in the United States and can use them. So, Dan, you can come up with the.
Okay.
Come up with the keyword.
Let's see.
And while you're thinking of that, James just asked what he won. What they won. James, you just won a jetpack from Avello, which has a whole bunch of swag from them and their partners. And yeah.
Okay.
Enjoy that.
I've got a keyword.
All right, go ahead.
I'll type it in the chat real quick into our chat.
Okay. All right. It's ready.
It's ready. Okay, so to everybody watching, if you'd like to enter this giveaway, all you have to do is type aviation into the chat. It's as easy as that.
Aviation, one of my favorite things in the world. Dan, I have to ask, because we haven't really chatted. You've been a busy boy lately. Are you still doing any flight training?
No, not at the moment. Not at the moment. Purely because of winter.
Yeah, you can't catch a break over there in winter.
No, it got to the point where it was irritating and just pointless to the extent where I wasn't learning.
Yeah,
nothing was happening, you know. And then by the time I'd go back, and it was horrible. I had like a month and a half's gap between a lesson because the weather was just rubbish. Because I tried to do one lesson a week, and I went back, and you know when you just feel rusty at something. Oh, and it was horrible. It was really horrible.
Yep.
And that was the feeling.
And flying is like that, man. Even if you have your license, but especially when you're a student with low hours, the rusty factor can be really, really frustrating because you feel like, what have I been doing? I've just regressed.
Yeah, and you feel like you know everything, but you don't know everything. Like everything you've learned, you just forget. Like it's not part of the routine. You just forget. Like for example, I didn't turn the landing lights on. I just forgot. Like little things like that where you just really dishearten yourself because you've learned and you forget.
Yeah, that's when relying on your checklist is super, super important. I do that. Even if I think I have the checklist memorized, I pull it out and I go through it because, you know, you can forget something really important.
You can. It can be quite bad.
Using your flow checks and your checklists and everything. Anyway, I digress. Let's roll this thing. So we're gonna pick Nightbot's gonna pick a winner for us. This is for a pair of round-trip tickets on Avello in the United States, and there are no restrictions on these tickets. As long as there are seats, you can use them. And after we roll it, and if after you win, please type your Infinite Flight Forum username into the chat, and we will. And feel free to reach out to me directly first, but we do need you to identify yourself here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Murillo Heinrich. Congratulations. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but congratulations on that. You are our winner.
And was that tickets?
That was tickets.
Awesome stuff.
Do you have to be pro? No, you don't. This is for literal airline tickets. So
Jason, back onto the topic really quickly about flying. I think the challenging thing and the reason why it's been so rusty is because obviously there was an incident with the aircraft that I used to fly, and then it got destroyed. It got destroyed, and I had to switch to an older Cessna, and it's completely different. Like it's just a completely different ball game. The buttons are different, the switches are different. It's just
you weren't flying with a G1000, were you?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it wasn't a G1000, but it was an SP. It was a very nice cockpit.
Oh, it was an SP. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And now it's old school. It's this vintage-looking thing.
Hey, Simon Weber, welcome back, super fan.
I think what's crazy is that you can really feel the difference as well. With the SP was quite powerful on when you're taking off in the P, which I fly now. You really feel it's really sluggish. You don't have that power on takeoff.
Yeah. Well, I fly a Cherokee now, so I feel that comment. It's we use a lot of runway, but hey, it flies.
But so it's a proper plane, right? It has wings on the bottom. There you go.
You said it, not me.
It's a proper plane.
Someone just said do a sub giveaway. Why don't we do that too?
Should we do it?
Why not? Yeah. We haven't done one of those in a minute.
And it's been quite a while actually since we've done one of those.
Yeah.
Whilst you figure that out, I'm going to quickly give a shout out to our Captain and Superfan channel members.
Yes, do that.
So with that being said, big shout out to Syncline, Korean Fox, Grab, Aviator Griff, Druv, Santiago Fafan, Hector, Eli, Crazy Minecart 12, Fly Amis LV, Butter Zero, TRC Jedi, Nick Masterson, The Aviation, Josh K, Captain Sky Marshall, Golf Hotel Alpha Zulu Bravo, Walker, Bartlets, Simon Webber, Gonzo, and Crazy Bee. There we go. Thank you very much for being channel members.
You're the best. All right, so, and yes, whoever it is that keeps saying check your DMs, I always check my DMs, so I will do that. All right, we're gonna give away 1 month of Infinite Flight Pro. So if you've been asking for that, here we go. And I'm gonna make you work for it. You don't have to, you can have Pro already to win. If you have, let me say this, if you have already used a Pro coupon code from us, please don't enter the keyword in the chat, because we will not be able to issue you another one. The App Store just doesn't let us do that. So maybe if you've won one already, just sit this one out if you don't mind. It just makes it a little easier for us. But everyone else, feel free to enter. So for 1 month of Infinite Flight Pro, I'm going to make you work for this one. The keyword is all one word. Infinite Flight Pro is amazing.
Nice.
all one word, all lowercase. Infinite Flight Pro is amazing. So have fun typing that on your phone. I'm gonna make you work for it this time.
You know what would be really challenging is and it'd be interesting to see who actually pulls through on the giveaway if we're to do this in the future. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
We should do that at some point. We would have to. I don't know. Do we spell that out for people initially? I don't even know how you spell that.
No, I don't even know.
Yeah, copy and paste is a thing, I guess.
Yeah.
This isn't stopping people. Obviously, we have 50 users eligible already and counting. So, hey, let's plug the first official community event that we're doing, and it will be on stream, right?
Yep.
If you go to our forum, and we will blast this out on social media, but if you go to our user forum and you look for a event called, Dan, remind me here.
Oh, I don't even know off the top of my head. It's
March Midway Madness.
March Midway Madness, that's it. I believe it's something March. It's Midway is in the name. It's a play on
Midway Airport and March Madness, which is very cool. It's called. Stand by. I should have looked this up. March Midway Madness is the one, and it is on March 26th at 1700 Zulu, and Dan will be streaming that one live. So that is very, very cool. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for taking the bull by the horns and creating a cool event that was compatible with with our vision. So it's going to be a good one.
Well, this is the way forwards, and hopefully we can stream as many of these as we can on this channel.
Yeah, we're looking for and again, I mentioned FNF going away. Yes, it was a staple, and it was sad to see it go. The cool part about this is that we really want to capture the imagination and capitalize on the creativity of our community, because there's so many cool events that are happening all the time. And anyway, if you're interested in trying to do that, you can go check out the events category in our forum. All right, so for a free month of Infinite Flight Pro, we are going to roll it in 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Boom. Who is
Tapa Aviation has
Tapa Aviation. Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
Frequent
Congratulations.
viewer.
You have just won a month of Infinite Flight Pro. Welcome to the show. Anything else you want to say? Dan, who is hiding
hiding
screen?
behind a screen at the moment. No, it's been fantastic, Jason. Thank you for hopping on this stream and keeping me company this time around. And I mean, it's fate really that you've come on this stream, because otherwise there'd be nobody on the screen right now.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. There we go. But no.
And imagine our friend Travis was just talking to you, and your camera died. That would have been he would have been fine. Travis is a rock star, but yeah, it would have been a little more awkward.
Should we talk about how we're going to be a little bit more spontaneous of streaming?
Go ahead.
Cool. So for those of you who don't know, I have limited availability at the moment because I work like 3 jobs at once. So that takes up a little bit of my time. But with that being said, and the Friday Night Flight gone as well, because Friday Night Flight was a weekly event and usually streamed every single week. We're now looking into community-focused events, and depending on my availability, we hope to stream these events that you guys make, the amazing events that you guys make, and of course our official flash flights that we pump out all the time as well. So streams are going to be, and I've seen comments about them being not so frequent, and that's because we are at that point where we're trying to transition and trying to figure things out. Of course, it was going to take a little bit of time. But now we're slowly making progress, and you should see some more streams, but they're going to be more spontaneous and out of the blue. When I've done a flash flight stream, I've seen comments from you guys saying, wow, this was unexpected, and that's exactly what we're looking for, because it makes for a better turnout and it makes it more engaging because you don't expect it to actually happen. And we have seen, Jason, we have seen statistically the analytics is showing good things. So it's going well so far, and hopefully onwards and upwards, and it goes very well. So that's the update for streaming.
There you go. There you go. And if you have if you have time, Dan, can we take one more? Let's last for one more Infinite Flight related question.
Sure.
And then we'll sign off. Does that sound okay?
That sounds good to me.
Type your burning Infinite Flight questions into the chat, and we'll do our best to
answer one of them. And this is when the chat goes crazy again and we can't catch up with it.
Yeah, well, no, totally.
Well, what I would like to say very quickly is thank you very much for stopping by on this stream. On my end, I can see the analytics here are fantastic. The viewer count's been very, very high, and we appreciate that very much. It's very good to see. How can I get Pro for free?
Okay, I have a cool announcement to make, Dan.
Sure, go for it.
I've just received approval from Laura here.
Ooh, okay.
It is pretty well known if you're on our community forum that people use their flight spoilers on the ground to do flight control checks. And it's been pointed out by our real-world airline pilots that when you see the spoilers go up during checks, pilots are actually checking aileron, and you're seeing the roll spoilers. But what our users would do, since we don't have roll spoilers, is they would just arm the spoilers and up they would go, and then they'd come back down. And they also enjoyed, and this is me too, they also enjoyed leaving the spoilers deployed until they were after they were off the runway, after their landing. Now, Laura has figured out a way to not fix maybe the ground test before you do your flight. So not the roll spoiler thing, and not the arming them at the gate when you push back. But she thinks she has figured out a way to allow you to manually stow the spoilers after landing. So instead of letting them, instead of them going, being stowed automatically after, under whatever it was, Dan, 30 or 40 knots or something. Yeah. She thinks she's figured out a way to add in the next release to allow pilots to stow them manually. So I've stumbled over my words there a lot, but that's the gist of it. So it's a partial, what would you call it? It's maybe a compromise for now. Cameron has just said on Slack that ground testing is unnecessary. Everything will work in infinite flight. Manually deactivate spoilers. Yes. So you will have to wait until, unless we need a hot fix, you will have to wait until 22.3 for this.
22.3 confirmed.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully this is a step in the right direction for people who were not happy with this change. And they made it quite known. Yeah, I'm happy with it. But hey, we have auto brake, which is a highly
cool
requested
feature.
Yeah. Oh gosh, the mobile pilot just asked. First of all, how come staff aren't in VAs?
It's a good question.
Well, I mean, I can think of a few answers to that. First of all, it's just not my thing. That would be my answer personally. But I know that this is huge. It's a huge part of Infinite Flight. And second, I wouldn't want to accidentally show any favoritism or anything. There's so many VAs and VOs. So those are two things maybe from my perspective. I don't know, Dan, if you want to.
No, I agree with you on those, and I think for me personally, as cool as it would be to be a part of a VA and all of the websites they create, which I think look fantastic, like the booking systems and all the cool stuff they do. Yeah. It's really amazing. I would love to do that, but it's basically what Jason said, and it's time consuming when you want to rank up and earn your wings and earn bigger planes in these VAs. I personally just don't really have the capacity to be able to do that, and that's always been one of my main reasons, really.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big one for me too. I'm just taking a peek here. Laura will be looking into testing flight controls on the ground. Just we don't no news on that though, other than we'll look into it. What else? Okay, so have you seen any good questions, Dan, that we can sort of end with?
I just see a lot of 3D airport questions. More than anything.
No, guys, there's so many answers to that question. I don't want to take time to do that now. If you're curious about how 3D airports are done, please go to infiniteflight.com/timeline or spend some time on our forum, because all your questions are answered there. Rework progress. That's probably the one we should answer, I think.
There's questions about clouds as well.
Let me just go to so we're reworking 2 aircraft right now. One of them is the 2 E-Jet variants, and then the other one is the FA-18 Super Hornet, the E variant. Sadly, the F-18 is put on hold, and you can find an official reply from me or official topic from me, or reply in the F-18 tracking thread if you search for that on our forum. We have a team of 3D artists that are from the Ukraine, and sadly their way of life is under siege and has been for a month. And so with the war happening in Ukraine, there is simply no way that we can speculate on when that aircraft will be worked on, let alone done. So they've had to pause that, understandably. The other one is the E-Jet, the 2 E-Jet variants that we're doing. And again, there's a tracking thread in our general category on the forum, and you can find works in progress there. Our 3D artist Jarno is working away at the cockpit right now, and the interior,
which is looking very nice.
Yes, we'll throw out some more works in progress on our social media channels and sort of try and get caught up there. And this is probably obvious now, but the ones we share on social media are generally a little bit behind what the artists are actually doing, just so that we can sort of space out the content. But it's going very well. The cockpit shots are incredible. Can't wait to share those with you. These airplanes will also be delayed because typically when it comes to interior, exterior, and liveries, the two teams do share the workload. So I do apologize that the things are going to take longer, but there's just really nothing we can do about that. And yeah, that's the update there.
There we have it.
So thank you, Dear Crusher, for asking that. And we will update you as we know more. Yeah, that's probably all we need to say. So,
spoken about a fair amount in this stream. Had a lot of. It's been a very juicy stream.
It has been, and you know, it's good. We haven't done one of these in a while, so. Do you want me to do the sign off today, Dan? Since I'm the only one that people can see.
Oh yeah, actually, you're the host.
Yeah.
I'll say my goodbyes. Thank you all for watching. It's been amazing. Thank you for stopping by. It's greatly appreciated. And I'm sorry about the tech issues. Unfortunately, these things happen, and hopefully I can get this resolved as soon as possible. But thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and I will myself see you in the next stream. Of course. Take care.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Dan. And thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our dedicated users. Don't forget, I'm going to throw out a shameless plug here. You can go to our website and go to our shop where you can get all kinds of Infinite Flight merchandise. We are planning on being at Oshkosh this year. Our booth is reserved. We are bound and bent that COVID and other things aren't going to stop us from showing up at Oshkosh. So if you're going to be there, we do want to see you there. And please stay tuned on all of our social media at Infinite Flight. And we will see you in the next stream. And until then, keep the dirty side down, and we'll see you later. Take care.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.